The most expensive weapons system ever has hit another delay. The F-35 program won't move to full-rate production until next year. That delay is separate, though, from a big change to the software that controls the airplane. Valerie Insinna is air warfare reporter for Defense News. Val, welcome back. It's great to see you again. You have a couple stories up, as I mentioned, about the F-35. What is full-rate production? What does that term mean? And why is that, or would it be, an important milestone for the program?
So low rate production is when, a company is still learning how to manufacture something. They're still training their workforce. And so they do smaller numbers of production. And so when you move to full rate, you've kind of learned what you can learn. The program is mature, and this is really where a company is going to start making money. So it's a big kind of symbolic milestone for Lockheed.
What's the holdup, or what do we know about what the holdup is that's preventing the company from moving to full rate production?
So the Defense Department has to kind of rubber stamp, you guys are ready for full rate production. And in order to get to that point, the F-35 has to finish operational tests. And in order to get to that point, something called the Joint Simulation Environment needs to be finished, and the F-35 needs to go through tests in that environment. So the JSE is, think of it like a simulation, a virtual world where the F-35 can take on advanced Chinese and Russian threats that you cannot emulate in the real world, either because we don't have the numbers of aggressor planes, or they're just too advanced of technologies, or too classified for us to actually play out in a war game in the real world. So once the F-35 goes through that bout of training, or that bout of testing, then the Pentagon can finally look at the whole program and decide whether or not to move it to full rate production.
It's always,
and that hasn't happened yet.
It's always reasonable to think in today's environment that COVID has something to do with everything. And you write in your report, it's unclear why the JSE test schedule has slipped again. In a January 30th report, the Pentagon's independent weapons tester said the program, quote, appeared to be on a path to provide a simulator for testing this summer. Is it significant that they're not saying that it was COVID, or does that not mean much of anything potentially?
I mean, at this point, it's hard to know exactly what happened. So, last October, we learned that, the JSE wasn't ready. So the full rate production decision was going to be delayed for a year. And at that point, the hope was that it was going to happen in March 2021. And now they're not really sure when in 2021 that's going to happen. And that's because the JSE, the F-35 is not going to start testing with that until sometime next year, and that was supposed to happen this year. So I think it makes sense to think that COVID might have something to do with that. A lot of bases that are doing operational tests right now, they had to, kind of roll back the number of people that were going into work. A lot of the work on the JSE, I would think pretty much all of it is going to be classified. So, you really need people in work on those classified computers attached to the classified network in order to do that work. So to me, this sounds like something that is probably COVID related.
The other item that you're writing about is the replacement of the Autonomic Logistics Information System, ALICE, that has been just terribly problematic. The noise that I heard while I read your report, I believe, was the cheering of F-35 pilots that this ALICE system is going to be gone. What's replacing it, and how will it work better, Val?
Well, so the program that's going to be replacing it is called Odin. And, you basically have to think of ALICE as, it touches kind of every part of the F-35, everything from training to mission planning, but most importantly, the supply chain and maintenance of the aircraft. So, looking forward to Odin, you are looking at a product that was created, in 2020 with 2020 information technology. It's going to be cloud-based. It's going to be owned by the government. It's going to have applications, like a smartphone, like the iPhone that every general likes to reference as the gold standard of usability. And right now the problem with Alice is that it's based on very old technology from the early 2000s. So think of it more like a dial-up modem or your old school AOL. It just doing anything on Alice takes a long time.
We have less than a minute left. Given the fact, Val, that people have termed the F-35 a flying piece of software, is it possible that changing out this system really is a turning point for this program finally?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's going to make it easier to maintain the plane. It's going to make it easier to collect data on the plane that will allow the Defense Department to use it more efficiently and effectively. And because maintainers are going to spend less time waiting around for software to update or to download, data off of Alice, planes are going to be more mission capable, meaning they can fly more.
Valerie Insinna, thanks very much. It's great to have you back.